I promise this is the last one of the day with me, but still very happy to be here with my guests. So today we're going to discuss about humans, robots, and the quest for balance in the customer and relationship. So I have with me Stéphanie, Dane, and Simon. You want to introduce yourself one after the other? Stéphanie?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Stéphanie Charlaix Meyer. I'm in charge of customer service for Air France-KLM. So customer service, what's the scope of our activities? It's handling all the interaction you may have with Air France-KLM as a brand, whatever the channels, so it can be social media, web chat, and the phone, which remains the biggest one in terms of volume. And whatever the time of your journey, it can be before your flight for a booking information or after for refund claims. So whatever the topic, whatever the channels. And to do that activities, we have 5,000 agents worldwide. We handle 30 languages and around 20 million interaction per year.
Dane?
Hi, I'm Dane Molter. I work at Navan. Navan is a leading travel management company. We do end-to-end travel management, payments, expense. I work on our product and technology team there, where we work on AI end-to-end on that journey for simplification of that travel journey for our frequent travelers.
And last but not least, Simon.
Thanks, Florent. First of all, thanks for having us. Thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure. I work for TP. We are a global leader for customer service and also providing digital services to our clients. I represent and have the honor to steer most of our travel industry verticals, and I'm very dedicated as well to one of our strong partners with Booking.com, and I'm very happy to have a strong exchange here today.
Fantastic. So let's turn to the core content of the discussion. So we'll start with Air France-KLM. In a situation where the self-service is rising, how do you at Air France-KLM deal with AI? What is the impact of AI?
Yeah, so what we've seen in the travel industry, we all know that the COVID crisis was a big disruptor for all activities in the travel. And for us as customer service, it was really a big changer in terms of behaviors of our customers. Before the COVID, we were asking the customer when they were contacting customer service if they tried online before, so either on the website or on the mobile app. And it was roughly 60% of our customers. Now it's more up to 85% of the customers. So clearly, self-service is the first contact for all our customers. And that brings a lot of additional expectations, so higher expectation when they reach out to any agent or assistant. Because we know they tried online before and they did not succeed to get the answer of their questions. So it means the question or the topic might be more complex, so they have a higher expectation from that perspective. And therefore, we really have to work thanks to AI, to support further our teams, to make sure that we will be able to get the relevant information in a quicker way than we used to. And that the topic will be much higher and much more complex than it used to be. So therefore, all the AI use cases which we are deploying today are really here to support our teams in bringing more quicker and more relevant answer to the customers.
Thank you. Dane, for being working at Navan, you might have a broader view on the industry and the impact of AI. Could you share some examples of what the perspective you have on this topic?
Yeah, so at Navan, we use AI across the entire end-to-end journey of the travelers. It covers everything in support as well as in travel booking. Really, our single largest use case, probably the most touched by our travelers besides basic recommendation workflows and things like that, is on the support side. We get about a little over 50% of our inbound interactions actually are fully resolved by AI, which has really helped us focus our teams on how they're going to support, just like Stephanie's mentioning, how they're going to support our travelers as they're on the road. For us at Navan, one of the things that we recognize is travel is a deeply personal experience, even business travel. I'm on a business trip right now and I'm thinking about my family, I'm thinking about how I'm going to get home and see them when we're done. And this is we understand that that's a core part of our end-to-end experience. So when we look at applying AI for travel, we want to make sure that it is complementary, that it's adding to the experience, that it's either simplifying the journey for them, letting them focus on being there, and when things do arise, which those of us that are on the road frequently know happens all the time, we also understand the importance of having a human being in that loop. Part of the product that we're selling is having the human agent, the human touch that's associated with that sort of personal part of the travel experience. There are times, and we see it, like I said, 50% of the time, that you don't need that human. And there are plenty of times where the AI may be very good at resolving an issue for you, but you actually just want that human touch. And that's what's so important for us, is making sure that we're connecting the end-to-end journey, that our AI is supporting how our human agents are able to actually serve our travelers on that trip.
Simon, at TP, Teleperformance, what's your role and how do you use AI to transform this?
Well, we use AI on various fronts, right? I think what we are, and maybe we just quickly get a bit on what are current patterns, especially for this year, because I think this year was really one of the years where it was truly marked to see that AI is really maturing, and particularly in self-service and driving efficiency into the respective customer service segments for literally all clients I see on the travel front. So it's marking really a strong impact on self-service and also providing faster solutions. Simpler, let's say, easier things are really resolved autonomously without any impact of humans. And we see this also being part of the key discussions we have with the clients of us. And really, I think every strategic conversation is about how is AI making the service faster, easier to adopt with customers, and also at the end reduce operating expenses significantly. And we see that this is maturing and also very successfully. What we see though is also more increasingly, and that's really the focus for us as TP, because we want to drive impact with AI, with technology and our people. We have 490 or close to 490,000 people around the globe servicing the world with customer service solutions. And we see that it's coming more into an empathy dialogue as well. Because we know self-service is maturing, it's not really so new anymore that you are really having a very meaningful conversation with a chatbot, with a robot that works. But it's also on how do you make the real right link into a human when required. And for this, the industry is really interested, and also it's a needed step to make sure that there is always a very seamless handover into humans still.
Looking back at a few years back, in the time of COVID, looking at you, Stéphanie, regarding Air France, the need for human contact was extremely important in your operations. What could you share in terms of lessons learned from this period, very specific period?
Indeed. So we know it was a time where traveling was much more complex. You had to check what kind of documentation, the vaccine you needed to have to travel anywhere. So clearly, the first impact for our customer was that self-service was not working the same way it used to be. For a simple check-in, sometimes you had to check and to prove that you got the correct documentation. So all that was not working at the way it used to be. And on top of that, some customers were really looking for reassurance. They really needed to make sure that before traveling, all was okay. So therefore, we've seen it, and it was really acknowledged by both our customers and our top management. So from that perspective, it was really a game changer, that the fact that we add all those customer service support, human support, was really key in terms of differentiation towards competition. It was really making a big difference, supporting the customers and making sure that the human touch, the reassurance, was key and non-negotiable to ensure that we will go through that challenging period. So that was really a key means. And as I mentioned before, more and more customers, they were trying online before. So when contacting us, we had to make sure that we were able to convey all information in terms of context and all that kind, so that they don't have to re-explain, and we can have a much more personalized interaction. So from that perspective, AI was also supporting a lot for making sure that we get all the right context and information when the customer was moving from the self-service towards the agent interaction.
Simon, talking about Teleperformance, how do you make two words living together, automation on one hand and empathy on the other one?
I think it's for us in TP. We really much believe in the hybrid set for customer service. So it's really about not making humans or replace humans by AI. We see this is not also what AI is about, and we also don't see that in the industry, where it has to go for us is really delivering the respective right connect of AI. Stephanie alluded to it, making the right information available to people, and that's where AI has the huge capability also for us right now to make sure that we just provide a deeper, faster, and a more meaningful service to our clients. In fact, the AI solutions that are applying also in the travel industry are really there to drive a faster adoption of what customer want, predict, and may also start soon to rather drive proactive suggestions to a human person. And it's really on the way of how do we co-pilot this experience? How do we make our humans and also the impact to our customers and our clients bigger with just being faster, more meaningful, and also have a respective strong integration in all applications and systems, because the technology is there to process it at the right time and also with the right adoption so that you can really make a strong impact on all conversations. And that's what we deliver with strong partnerships in the technology field, but also with clearly getting also our humans focusing on the empathy level. And I think this is something about building trust. I think that's generally what also for us as an industry here has to see is how do we maintain, how do we redeploy trust in a world where things get more automated. And as I said a bit earlier, I think it's therefore very much key to see that we have a seamless handover into humans where needed and as needed, so that AI makes it easier, but that the humans make it meaningful.
Dane, AI, one of the core principles or advantage of AI is the proactiveness, the AI which is able to understand, think, and act more and more autonomously. Comes the challenge regarding the emotion. And what's your perspective on this topic, and how we can still a little bit like empathy and automation when you have proactivity and emotion?
Yeah, the proactive part of AI is definitely critical, especially in our business where we are managing travel for thousands of people on the road at all times. And we deploy proactive solutions across the board. We have AI that will proactively contact your hotel if you're going to arrive late so that the hotel knows not to bounce your booking, things like that. If your schedule is getting changed by an airline, we can proactively work some of those things, and that's absolutely critical. The way that we try and inject the sort of the human experience, the empathy of part of it into that, it comes really in the way that we see those travelers get back and re-engage the platform. When they come in, one of the things that we'll do is we'll make sure that any interface that they're engaging with is proactively set up, especially when they begin to engage with our support teams, where it is going to be AI that they're conversing with up front. Some of the newer models that are out there actually are giving us a lot of opportunity to increase that empathy. New models have things like temperature, which can make the AI feel significantly more human. We can increase, a lot more context for that AI. If you saw the last panel, they talked a lot about context. Context is critical. With things like memory, we're able to enrich the context, which is another new addition to some of the newer models that are out there. And really what we do is we try and make sure that we're constantly pushing on what those new models can do to stay ahead of it and make sure that that experience that they get once they come in doesn't feel so cold, doesn't feel like it was a transactional experience to proactively serve them. And then that makes really what's critical for us, and Simon kind of alluded to this, it's that hybrid model. What that allows us to do is make that handoff to a human agent very, very seamless. It feels very continuous because you don't feel like you're moving from this, I'm on a chat bot, now I'm talking to a person, right? You feel like you're getting continuous service throughout that experience, and that's really where we see a lot of benefit.
We turn to a new topic which is very common in these days, which is copilots, AI copilots. We hear a lot of things. I guess everybody has access to use some copilots. What's for you the impact of AI copilots on humans? What is the purpose? What are the objectives of deploying such copilots for guests or collaborators?
I think the co-pilot world is evolving in the next years dramatically in a way of really supporting humans with just better, faster, more personalized information. We see already that we are in a very good stage to use co-pilots during customer service interactions, to summarize, to document, so to literally do the data-heavy tasks, right, that are freeing up the human to really be more focused, more centered around the customer and driving more outcome and more value for the conversation. In the future it will be, and that's also something that is starting to be used already, our typical intake agents that are really taking care of understanding what does the customer want, what are the nuances. I think there is a start, and that's super critical also in intake agents to understand the level of comfort, the level of complexity of a scenario, to make a respective decision to say, do we leave it with a respective co-pilot or with a respective AI solution, or are we rather making a respective handshake into a human as required? The next step is really, and that's also something we see evolving, is building co-pilots for real sales and making offerings in the booking world, right? I mean, it's typically that you're looking for a hotel, a clear destination, and then going for and understanding what is it, prompting it to a human, and ideally also in a respective guided co-piloted session where you have the customer on the line, where you can really use the co-pilot to say, combine it, make it a good offer, send it to customer, and also being supported by a respective documentation and also upsell. And I think the upsell momentum is still what we have to see how it will be dealt with also from a regulatory perspective. Let's face it, let's be honest and frank. I mean, regulatory for AI are still a bit regulated in a way what we can offer, what we can sell. But the AI will support live agents in just making it respective seamless and understand what the customer is doing, aspect action offerings, upsells, where AI can hugely help on those conversations.
Dane, you want to share some perspective?
Yeah, sure. So we have a slightly different challenge, just given the nature of where we're sitting as an agency. We connect with basically every major OTA. We're a multiple GDS shop. We run 20 plus NDCs. We have an extremely fragmented content ecosystem that we're operating in, which for those of us that are in travel, you obviously know that is only going to continue to increase as more fragmentation. And it's critical for us as we think about how we're going to support getting our customers the best possible content in an increasingly fragmented market, how we're going to actually operationalize that content, which is really critical, right? You have to be able to service that content for your travelers. So when we think about co-pilots for us, well, the way that we build a co-pilot for our agents tends to be a lot more around how do we support them in actually managing content coming from different sources. They may have one interaction that comes in from a traveler who's got one outbound segment on an Artefact booking, an inbound segment on an NDC booking, a hotel stay via an OTA, and a direct booking on a car rental, for example. And that can be very, very challenging for agents, especially those, and I think, Stephanie, I'm sure you know, a lot of agents have been in the industry for 20 years, 30 years, they've been around for a long time. The co-pilot is the way that we're able to advance our content solutions while keeping them really grounded in serving the right experience for those travelers without having to worry about the complexity of what's the command I need to run in that GDS or how do I make this change. The co-pilot's able to guide them through those workflows, and that's a really critical role. Additionally, of course, we play with co-pilots in a way that lets them be aware of the customer's feelings, their sentiment as they're coming in, helping to steer that conversation so they're getting the best soft skill experience as well. But for us, it's really about that combination of combining the hard skills, the soft skills, so that those agents can really do what they're very good at, which is advise on travel.
You see me coming, Stéphanie?
Exactly. So for Air France-KLM, clearly the human touch is at the heart of our strategy. It's really is playing a key role as a strategic pillar for our ambition of premiumization of our product and experience. So that's very key. And then I will take the same words as the one you use, Simon and Dan. Indeed, thanks to AI, we are capable of reinforcing the team emphasizing and amplifying the human touch that they have. We are able to make it seamless for the customers, more personalized, quicker, faster. So all what you've described, I will take some concrete examples of use cases of AI that we have deployed and that we use daily today. One of them, and that's the one you all use in your daily activities, is really summarization. So each time we have an interaction with a customer, the summarization of the interaction is done thanks to AI. So that's a way to make sure that next time the customer is coming back on the same topic on a different one, we have all the summary of what has been done so far for him and what was the topic before. So that's really a way to improve the customer satisfaction. At the same time, for sure, it's a cost reduction because it's saving time. Today, or before AI, the agent was doing the summary, and it was taking some of time. So that's a way, and a clear, easy, and simple use case which we have deployed today. Another one which is very key in our industry, because the topics we can get from our customers when they are contacting us are really complex. It can go from a pricing question, what is the fair condition of my ticket, to some question on what can I bring within my luggage, is it a cabin luggage or not, and what's the size, or even regulation to travel to that country, what do I need in terms of visa or whatever. So very complex question. Today we have a knowledge base which is shared for all our agents. So I remind, I said 5,000 agents worldwide, so quite a lot of people. And the knowledge base does include 28,000 solutions and articles. So quite a complex one. And we know that looking for information in the knowledge base can be sometimes quite time-consuming. So here again, to speed and to get the most relevant answer, we are deploying AI to support for looking for information. Once again, it's the use case you are using daily for any activities. So, but here it both contributes to enhance the customer experience and quicker the handling time for the agents, so also saving money at the end. And the last use case I will present, which may be less obvious, but I mentioned at the beginning that we are in a worldwide industry, and we are handling 30 languages, which is quite complex in terms of organizational setup. And thanks to AI and translation capabilities, we are really reorganizing the customer service to leverage further the expertise of specific topic. When you are handling some specific customer needs or requirements, instead of having to deploy the knowledge through the 30 languages, trying to mutualize, optimize the expertise to a smaller team of agents, and making sure that we leverage translation capabilities to answer in the initial language of the customer. So that's also one concrete example that we have deployed and that we are deploying further in the months to come.
So now we're going to do a small exercise, a vision exercise. We're going to do a fast forward in 2030. AI and generative AI will have learned a lot about everyone for 5 years. Context will be huge. From your perspective, we start with Dane. What would be the impact on the travel industry in terms of personalization and beyond?
So 2030, Simon and I were joking before we came up. We were thinking about 2030 ahead. We were looking out at here going, in 5 years, this whole conference is going to feel completely different, right? And I think even, we have this coming up in December next year, it will feel completely different because things are changing so rapidly that 2030 is almost really, really difficult to predict what that's going to look like. If I have to take a stab at it, I think that really where I envision a lot more AI application really is going to come. We're going to master in the next couple of years here, we're going to master the servicing side of it, right? We're doing a lot of it. You're hearing it from all of us that this is an area that we're super invested in. We're getting really good at supporting the travel agents who are supporting the travelers, and that's only going to continue to get stronger and better. It's going to be, I think, as we look at 2030, it bleeds into more around the planning, the beginning of that trip, how you're coordinating the moving pieces of your trip so that you can focus on simplifying that journey. We're envisioning a world where everybody, at Navan really, we're envisioning a world where everybody is going to basically have their personal EA, right? That the idea of having an EA, a travel planner, isn't limited just to your executive team. It's actually something that you as a day-to-day traveler can get, your sales teams can get, that just takes care of every moving piece of that. And you're exactly right about the data and the context being so critical, because as our data ecosystems continue to grow, we've been invested in expense for the last several years. That information feeding into how you're building a trip, doing things like that, it's only enriching the way that AI is actually able to work freely to guide that trip, to build that trip, to proactively service that trip. And so that's the world that we're envisioning in 2030, and it'll probably be even more crazy than that.
Simon, in same vein, same questions. In terms of new models, what can you expect?
Yeah, as Dane said, I think predicting at the moment 5 years is a challenge, and probably also why we are all here, right? And seeing, okay, what happens in the coming years, what happens currently. But though, if I would look at it, I think I think everything will get more connected in a way. And it will also for the travel industry be that you're not just looking for a hotel because there are, let's say right now and even if you're working with some of the leading OTA platforms, online travel agency platforms, you're still going for the hotel, you're looking for a flight that fits it, you're looking for a rental car, you're looking for maybe insurances, for reinsurances on what sites can I see or what restaurants am I going to do. And I think this will get more connected in a way. And probably also for the travel industry and also for its customer service being more of a chance to make a real connect with strong AI in the back as a co-pilot to support doing these conversations and also seamlessly get in touch, interact, make changes, and just get everything easier and just from the whole experience for travel, which is one of the most emotional things that can happen for you as a human still, that you just see that it's easier, faster, and just more transparent in a way. And that's probably also hopefully giving many people to use the respective solutions that are coming up to really experience the world more frequently and with more impact for them.
And Stéphanie, we're going to have a dedicated session regarding ultra personalization, but still, from Air France-KLM perspective, this 2030 view regarding personalization.
Indeed, personalization is key, and all is fueled by data. So customer data, so that's really the basics to make it work. So we will further collect customer data, making sure that we have all view of the experience of the customers and all interaction he may have with a brand. So that's very key, and that's the first pillar. Then, based on the data and the personalization, what we will leverage further is for sure proactiveness. In terms of customer service activities, we truly believe that we should not wait anymore for the customer to contact us whenever there is a disrupted experience. So really proactiveness and not waiting for the customer to contact us is very key, and that's one of the first pillars. Second one is, if for any reason is contacting us, here again, trying to leverage further all information and AI that we have to be able to prompt to the agent what can be relevant additional services. And not only products and selling product, that could be one angle, but that's not the only one and the key one, also servicing. One example that we have live today is, for example, if the agent, thanks to AI, sees that you have a voucher coming to an expiration date, they will push that to the customer to also promote and better serve beyond the expectation that he might have initially when reaching out to us. So indeed, personalization is really one key way to differentiate. And once again, we can expect that for sure in the coming years, the trend that we have seen where we have decreasing volume of interaction, human interaction, that will continue for sure. But that makes it even more pressure on the interaction that remains, that we have to make it work. Each interaction is really a way to gain the loyalty of our customers. So that's really a key moment of contact between the customer and the brand, and we have to make sure we leverage all the technical features and AI to make it a meaningful experience.
in one word, because we need to leave the stage, what will remain human by 2030? One word.
The physical travel as such, but definitely what will remain very human is the trust that we need for it.
Yeah, there will be empathy in travel.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry.
Empathy. I was going to say the same, so we have the same word.
Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Florent.
Thank you.